Lebanon's army rumbles through the biggest city in the north, Tripoli. It's an alarming sight for residents, including this director of Asafir newspaper, who fears the city is turning into a war zone.
The violent incidents that we are seeing in Tripoli are absurd and without any point. They kill, they destroy, and the number of victims grow, but they don't achieve anything.
More than a dozen people have been killed in recent weeks, and over the past 5 years, more than 200 people have died in fighting between Sunnis and Alawites, a situation exacerbated by the civil war in neighbouring Syria. The fighting is concentrated between Tripoli's mainly Sunni district of Bab al-Tabaneh, where residents oppose the regime of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, and the minority pro-Damascus, Shia and Alawite residents of the Jabal Mohsen neighborhood. Sheikh Nabil Rahim, a religious leader, has been working to restore peace between the two communities, worries for the future.
I'm afraid that the conflict will simply shift from a conflict between Jabal Mohsen and Bab al-Tabaneh to a conflict between the army and Bab al-Tabaneh. I'm so afraid of that. That would be a suicide mission.
Syria and Lebanon have been mired in bloody conflict before, when Syria intervened in Lebanon and occupied it for nearly 30 years. The Syrian government is even implicated in the assassination of Lebanese Prime Minister Rafiq Hariri in 2005, after which Syria was forced to leave Lebanon. The Bab al-Tabaneh district is home to forces that fought to expel occupying Syrians, and the resentment is still raw here. The stakes in Tripoli are so high that despite their small numbers, the Alawite community here is getting the backing they need to hold their ground. And this has put their Sunni neighbors on edge to do the same, even at a high cost. Defenseless residents are caught in the middle, and they say the army's efforts to intervene don't always help.
A man who can't afford to buy a loaf of bread, how can he afford to buy weapons? You can ask the politicians. They all know where from. They are funding people who are ruining the country. Meanwhile, there is no economy, no schools, no education.
Lingering anger in Lebanon over Syrian interference has meant that the conflict next door has found a theater here in this small community in Tripoli.